Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee with Convery, the podcast where purpose meets passion, and every episode serves up a hot dose of inspiration for students, emerging professionals, and leaders navigating the world of work. Now, today episode is truly something special. If you've ever wondered what it looks like to blend decades of corporate leadership with down-to-earth entrepreneurship, or how a childhood in New Jersey can turn into a mushroom-powered mission in Texas, you're in for a real treat. My guest today is Keri Hissim, a dynamic executive leader who's driven multi-billion dollar business growth, innovation, and high-performing teams at one of the world's most recognized companies, AT&T. But that's just part of the story. Keri is also the co-founder of Millbrook Mushrooms, premium mushroom farm she built alongside her husband and high school sweetheart, Kyle. From lion's mane to King's Trumpets, they're growing gourmet fungi that will fuel everything from fine dining to cognitive health. She's a mom, a mentor, a marketeer, a mushroom whisperer, and one of the most grounded and inspiring leaders out there. Keri's journey is a beautiful blend of faith, family, and fearlessness, and today we're digging into how she did it all and what advice she has for you. Keri, welcome to the podcast.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I'm so excited and honored to be here.
Me too. I can't wait to dive in. So,
Yeah.
before we get to the story, let's do a few rapid fire questions. What is your superpower?
I would say optimistic.
Optimistic. Good word. Good word.
Yeah.
Good superpower. What was your favorite subject in high school?
Favorite subject, I think, was math. I love to problem solve. And there's a little bit of strategy in there too. So
Yeah,
I think math.
perfect. Um, we all started somewhere in
Yeah.
our careers. What was your very first job?
My very first job was actually a bookkeeper for my dad's janitorial service. So a little bit of some entrepreneurial, right?
Yeah,
There with the family, and I was a bookkeeper. So I think took a little of that math, applied it with the bookkeeping. So yeah,
it's a
there
good
you go.
marriage of sorts. There you go.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
If you had to describe yourself in one word, what would you choose?
Ambitious. I think
Vicious.
I would say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just the journeys and the variety of opportunities, I like to just dive in and tackle the opportunities in front of me. And go back to that optimism. The glass is half full, it's not half empty. So I'd say ambitious.
I love that. I love that. Okay, let's jump in because your journey is so super cool. I can't wait for the audience to hear it. So let's rewind the tape a bit. You and your husband Kyle are high school sweethearts from New Jersey, spending your early days on his grandparents' farm. How did
Yep.
that early exposure to agriculture shape your journey even before mushrooms entered the picture?
Yeah, farming is a lifestyle. And I have to say that when you think about farming, it's a lot of grit, it's a lot of determination. It is 24/7. So the work ethic has to be there. And so that really has helped me and shaped me and formed me on my career journey here and with the farm. So I would say that, from farming, you learn a lot, and when the crops need to be watered, in the
Yeah.
drought, you got to go do that. When the cows got to be milked, they got to go, you may be exhausted and tired, but they have to get milked and fed, right? And so I think that that has really helped to shape me in terms of having grit, determination, commitment. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Um, so fast forward to now, you're living in Texas, raising a
Yeah.
family, launching a farm. Millbrook Mushrooms is now more than just a business, it's a family project. As I
It
understand,
is.
it's a passion and a platform. What
It is.
inspired the leap to mushrooms?
So AT&T, I have to say, I have been afforded a variety of experiences and opportunities, right? You go back to that example of, the farming and growing up in the farming lifestyle. And so when you think about it, us jumping to mushrooms, we had a really good friend who had a mushroom farm. And my husband, Kyle, went and spent some time with her and came back and said, "Hey, you know what? We've got farming in our background. Let's go grow mushrooms." And of course, I was like, we don't know anything about mushrooms, right? But I go back to again my experiences here, and wishful timelines theory, and understanding that to say, let's go plan this out to see what this looks like. And we got our family involved, as you brought up. So I've got
Yeah,
two amazing daughters. My older daughter is a bookkeeper or bookkeeping for the farm. So there
taking
you
after
go. I
mom.
passed on what I was doing and what I learned onto her. And my younger daughter does our social media. She's in school for digital media design. She designed our logo too, by the way. So this is a family affair, just like farming generally is. And they are involved in the farm. And at the same time, they're in college, right? And chasing their passions too. So that's a little bit of background about Millbrook Mushrooms and how it came all about.
I love it. I love it. So amazing. So your corporate resume is nothing short of incredible. That's for sure. And I know as we're getting started, being at AT&T and all the work you've done there, executive leadership, marketing, operations, you've led with impact. How has your corporate experience also translated into your entrepreneurship mindset?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that. And as mentioned, and you highlighted it, I've had a variety of opportunities. And every step of the way, I've learned a lot about teamwork. I've learned a lot about, the wishful timelines theory in terms of planning ahead, really designing and outlining business plans.
Hmm.
um, Anytime you're also in a new role, think about it. You're working on your 30, 60, 90-day game plan. Here's how I'm seeing the future. And I took those learnings and applied it to Millbrook Mushrooms. Millbrook Mushrooms wouldn't be where it is today without those experiences, right? And the teamwork and the collaboration with others. Think about it, the friend I brought up a moment ago. If she didn't open up her doors, right, to show us about mushroom farming, that wouldn't be where I am today. No different here at AT&T. I partner a lot with our finance organization, right? And the things that I do. And if they didn't share with me about P&L and financials, think about it. I got to go apply that to the mushroom farm. And so there really is, if you think about it, the experiences here has really helped to launch a, career and a farm that we're really passionate about.
Yeah, I'm so glad you dove into this today because I was in a call and a conversation earlier where young people, and we have a lot of young listeners on this podcast, trying to understand how to describe transferable skills. And it's something we use all the time, but we don't always describe it. You just
Yes.
described it like eloquently because you're taking all that you're learning and applying it over here as transferable skills in a completely different industry, right? So I hope listeners and students thinking about when you get asked that question or when you're trying to think about what transferable skills you have, think about Keri's story because it really is a true story of what transferable skills are, right?
Absolutely. I'm a mentor with the International Council of Shopping Centers, and I'm a member there as well. And I mentor the youth, right? And a lot of the college students. And I do talk about the fact of they may be going to school for, commercial real
Yeah.
estate, right? And focusing on real estate, but I go back to finance as an example. You got to understand financials, and to do an opportunity in the finance side of the house could really benefit you. If you don't think marketing when you think about, right, real estate or anything that you're in, having that opportunity helps, to your point, transferable skills. And so absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for highlighting that today. It's so timely in what
Yeah.
young people are trying to, find their footing, especially in a world right now where, especially US and Canada, there's a lot of hardship trying to find jobs, right? So
Sure,
think about
absolutely.
transferable skills because it's super important. What's
Absolutely.
it like running a business with your spouse and daughters? I can only imagine there's a lot of teamwork and a few muddy boots.
There is, right? And yeah, what I would say is that, we know what we're both, well, we know what we're all great at, right? Each of us have different skills and talents, and no different whether you're in corporate America or you're running a business. You identify what those talents are
Yep.
and you make them, I mean, they're profound strengths. And what's great is my husband, he's the one that designed the farm. He's the 100% full-time farming. It's a climate control. If you don't know anything about mushroom farming, it's a climate
I
controlled
don't.
environment.
Okay.
Okay, it's indoor. A lot of people think mushroom farming,
But
oh,
it's
they're going out to the
indoor.
crops. It's outside, right? And no, it is indoor. It's all indoor and it's climate controlled. My husband has a background in home improvement. So my husband designed that whole farm based upon his background and experiences. By the way, I don't have a background or experience in that.
Right.
And so that's what his talent is. But I got to tell you, I've got experience in operations and marketing. And so that is what
Yep.
my skill set is to go, right? And so then we think about our daughters, I brought up a moment ago. So our younger daughter is going to school for digital media design. And she wants to be an illustrator. And we're super proud of her. She's super creative. Social works for her.
Yeah.
My older daughter, she's going to school for mechanical engineering, computer science, and math. And so bookkeeping, the financial side, right, is what she does. And so again, when you think about it, it's no different in corporate America when you're leading teams, you identify what their skills are and their talents and their passions. And you work with them, coach and development. Trust me, my husband coach and develops me on some of this stuff in the farm, right? And I'm learning a
Yeah.
variety of things from him, and no different than he's learning some of the operations, from me. But we tend to stay in our lanes, right? Is what we say,
Yeah.
because that's where we are the best and best suited.
Amazing. And this leads me to this next question, which you've somewhat answered, but I think like running this mushroom farm, what can corporate leaders learn today from what you've learned from running the mushroom farm?
Yeah, I think, yeah. So going back to that great example of what the corporate leaders can learn is that the transferable skills,
Yeah.
right? And understanding and seeing the talent that each individual provides, right? And what they can bring to the table.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I would say is, also allow them to take risks. And when you see an individual, I have to say that we are also mentoring two high school students at the farm. So they are part of,
Great.
yeah, yep, they are part of they're part of the agricultural program at our local high school. So we brought them on part-time and we're teaching them and, taking some risks, right?
Yeah.
And you know what, you're not going to learn unless you put somebody in and like put them out there, stretch them. That's the other thing is get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that's where you can learn the most too. And if you don't think launching a mushroom farm, right, with not having a background in mushroom farming, we had to get uncomfortable and get uncomfortable in a variety of things.
Yeah.
And so corporate leaders can learn from that too, right? I mean, our high school students are also teaching us a lot, right, about now the younger generation of what they're learning, their experiences that we want to go and apply, into our farming.
Amazing. Amazing. So I have another question. What was your aha moment for identifying the wishful timelines theory?
Yeah, the wishful timelines theory. So, when you jump into being an entrepreneur, and when we were launching this farm, the aha moment that was I thought I planned, and the unexpected. It really is the wishful timelines theory. I'll explain it.
Sure.
The wishful timelines theory is coming up with a plan and anticipating the risks, right? Anticipating the obstacles, anticipating what may slow you down to get to your end goal, and then identifying how you could potentially mitigate that, right?
Yeah.
Or put it in your plan. And so the aha moment was when we were building the farm, I knew it was going to take time to have power run to our building. Didn't realize it was going to take, I thought 3 months. I put in my wishful timelines theory, right? And I did, I put it in there, but that was kind of the aha moment, right? Was that it took more than 3 months. The good news is we put money aside because we're not up and running, right? If you're
Yeah.
not up and running, you're not profitable, you're not making money. So we're sitting here looking at a building and okay, well, we got to pay our bills, right? And so, but guess what? During that time period, we got our marketing together. You take advantage of what else that you can do. And that was really the aha moment of the wishful timelines theory. And I think about the experiences at AT&T. We put that in place in a variety of places, right? Whether it
Yep.
was the marketing or operations, anytime you're launching a project, right? We here at AT&T, the customer always comes first. And we think about the customer first. And that is what I learned at AT&T was at Millbrook Mushrooms, we're putting the customer first, right?
Yeah.
And we're not going to go open up until we're ready to go. And that is part of the wishful timelines theory.
It's a great way to think about things. And I love also you said, you have to kind of expect the unexpected there sometimes.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. And you have to understand the dependencies that are out there, right, that you have with
Yeah.
others. And that's what sometimes people don't think about or realize, right? And so, yeah, when you factor that into the equation, then you have a better launch. Now, listen, there's going to be obstacles and things that come
Yeah.
along the way that you don't realize. That's all part of it. But if you anticipate, right, and you work across your
Right.
partners and you set proper expectations, then great, right? Then it ends up being a success. And that's what I attribute the Millbrook mushroom success story to. The wishful timelines theory.
Yeah.
Map it out, come up with, the plans, anticipate two or three, things that you may, come into, and then you just learn as you go.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So let's jump into some leadership lessons and advice for some earlier in career students, what have you. You've navigated massive organizations, you now run a small business. What are
Yeah.
some core leadership lessons you'd pass on to students and young professionals listening to this podcast?
I would say is that first and foremost, you got to be great at communications, and it's not too early to start networking, and but really be great at communications and map out. What I would say is, you definitely should write down kind of your goals for yourself.
Yeah.
Like these are the 3 to 5 goals that I have for myself, right? So start to think about where it is that you want to go. Where's your passion that you have? I'm really big about your passion. But listen, the passion is only a piece of it. You got to go take action, right? And taking action is then, okay, let me see who I know that can help me get to where that I want to go. Who can be my trusted advisor? Who can help counsel me? Who can help mentor me, right? And that goes back to the communication side, right? And yeah, I go back to the uncomfortable piece too. You got to take a little bit of risk. You got to put yourself out there. Hey, that's uncomfortable. That's hard. Every time I move into new roles, I also don't know a lot of things,
Yeah.
right? I reach out to people who've been there, who have done it. Identify those people who have been there and have done it and reach out to them. Listen, if you go ask for help, people want to help each other, right? We really do. People want to help each other. And so don't be afraid to go ask for that. Chase your passion. And what I would say about your career, it's a lattice, it's not a ladder.
Yeah.
So you go back to those transferable skills. You may start out, in supply chain. And that may not be where that you would want to end up, maybe, right? But I guarantee you'll learn a lot about supply chain before you end up to where you want to be.
100%. Such great advice. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about these mushrooms. So I had no
Okay.
idea that they could do so much for cognitive and heart health.
Yeah.
Can you walk
Yeah.
us through some of the varieties you grow and why they matter?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we got into Millbrook Mushrooms, part of it was about curiosity, and we love farm to table. So the culinary side, right?
Yep.
But we also didn't realize truly the wellness side of mushrooms. And mushrooms, the culinary, side, like I said, fantastic. But the wellness side, like lion's mane, as a great example, we grow lion's mane at the farm, and everything that we do at our farm is spore to fruit, meaning we basically grow everything at our farm starts from the beginning until they fruit and we harvest and then we go deliver. So everything we monitor all the quality and everything's done spore to fruit. So lion's mane as a great example. It's great for cognitive health. Turkey tail is another great example. So turkey tail is a mushroom that is great for your gut health. And so
Okay.
reishi is another one that we grow at the farm. Cordyceps, we actually source that. So that is one that we don't grow at the farm. Turkey tail, we don't grow at the farm as well, but we source that
Yep.
organically from another supplier. But we make these mushroom extracts at our farm. And then chaga comes from our family farm in North Carolina. And the great benefits, like I said, turkey tail is great for gut health, and lion's mane cognitive health. Every single one of them, there's so many different components from a health and wellness standpoint of what they can do for you. And what we create at Millbrook Mushrooms is we extract the health benefits of the mushroom. It's all from the fruiting body. The fruiting body, think about it as the actual mushroom.
Okay.
And so we extract, it's a double extraction process. And so what we do is we basically take alcohol and we extract a component. And then we then take distilled hot water and we extract the second component, and that creates this mushroom extract or tincture. It's a liquid form of a supplement. Think about it as a supplement,
Okay.
and you take that supplement for your wellness. And what we do is we put it in our coffee every day. You can put it, in smoothies. You can take it directly, but it provides a tremendous amount of immune support, immune health, heart health. There's a lot of studies and research out there around the wellness of mushroom extracts. We always recommend to go consult with your physician before you do any supplement or take any type of extract, because that's key, because you could be on some medications, right, or have some sort of condition
Sure.
that it may not be right for you. And so we always strongly encourage, and we recommend, highly recommend, that you seek medical advice before you take any mushroom supplement or extract. But yeah, mushrooms. And listen, on the culinary side, you're getting a lot of great wellness too
For
by
sure.
enjoying those mushrooms, and that they do provide a lot of great wellness for you too.
Wow. I just learned so much. Thank you. It's so
Yeah,
interesting. So
yeah.
interesting. So you've created something that connects people through food, health, and local support. What's next for Millbrook Mushrooms?
Yeah, well, thank you so much. We're still a young
Yeah,
farm, to
yeah.
be honest with you. I mean, we broke ground in 2022. We've been up and running since 2023, so really 2 years. We have multiple restaurants here in the Dallas Fort Worth area, as well as we've had restaurants in Arkansas. So we've expanded. And we also do farmers markets and co-ops, right, that we support, and local health food stores as well. And what I would say is we're continuing to to expand. We're super excited for the opportunity to continue to supply farm to table to restaurants here in the Dallas Fort Worth area, to bring more to consumers as well. Chefs for Farmers, that's the 15th annual Chefs for Farmers event here in Dallas, one going on in Houston as well. And we're so honored to be featured at that prestigious event. We're one of the farms. And what's great about Chefs for Farmers, if you do not know what that is, I highly encourage for you to go check it out. But it basically, a farm partners with a chef and a restaurant, and they get to
Nice.
use your mushrooms, right, wherever your product is. And they obviously create some amazing culinary creations at this event. And consumers can enjoy. So yeah, we're super honored and excited for that event too.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're getting to the end of this podcast. I'm so engaged. It's so exciting what you're talking about. I think it's such a unique story that you have, and I think it's really powerful. Is there anything I didn't ask you that in this conversation today that you thought you may want to share with some of the listeners? I don't know if there's anything on your mind that I might not have asked.
To me, I feel like you did. I mean, I think you went through, I feel like we covered a lot, right? But
We
the
did.
one thing that I would say is don't be afraid, right? I think for some people, listen, I've had other entrepreneurial opportunities and I took risks and they did not come to fruition. But what I
Yep.
can tell you is I learned a tremendous amount from them. And I wouldn't be here today with Millbrook Mushrooms, and I wouldn't be here in the role that I am in corporate America and AT&T if I did not take those risks and take those learnings. Not everything is going to end up being a success, is what I would tell you.
Great
However,
advice.
it's a journey. And I can tell you that you learn a lot when you fail because it's not a failure. It's a learning, it's part of the journey. And what you learn from that, it will launch you so much forward because you took that risk. So don't be afraid to take the risk. Not always going to end up being absolutely amazing. And sometimes it is, right? And that's great. But if you have passion and you work hard and you put your dedication to it, you know that you gave it your all, say, okay, I'm going to put it aside. Let's move forward. And we're going to move forward. And I think part of that, my faith, also has been part of my journey that has got me to where I am today. Because in the darkest times, you lift yourself back up and you move forward.
There you go. Some fantastic, inspiring advice. Thank you, Keri, so much for joining me today. Your story reminds us that passion and purpose doesn't have to live in separate places. Whether you're leading a business or harvesting a mushroom at sunrise, it's all about intention, connection, and heart. It's been so special to have you on here, and I thank you so much for being a part of Coffee with Convery.
Listen, I am so grateful, Brian. Thank you so much for having me. It truly is an honor. I was extremely grateful, and I can't thank you enough for what you're doing and the impact that you're making on our youth, right? As well as so many listeners and beyond, right?
Thank you.
Here, it's absolutely amazing, and I'm truly honored and grateful to be part of this experience.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, you can catch more episodes and inspiring stories at coffeewithconvery.com. And you can also follow us on Instagram, where we have behind the scenes footage as well as contents and updates. Until next time, remember success isn't always about climbing that corporate ladder or lattice. Sometimes it's about building your own jungle gym.